Hey, it's To The Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince.
What's happening, guys? Just bear with us as we go live everywhere.
Vince?
Hold
What's going
on.
on, Leo?
We'll be live on Facebook any minute now.
Damn, yell at me.
We're live on Facebook.
Vince.
Hey, it's To The Point with Mike, Leo, and Vince. What's up, Leo?
What's
up, Mike?
Not much. How's it going?
I don't know.
Back
I don't know
for
why
another week in the garage.
I don't know why I always get the giggles like as soon as we're about to start. I guess that's just like how I like, shake my,
I don't know why it's
I
not
don't know, I just shake
transitioning
it
on
off.
YouTube.
You get a little laughing and stuff like that. But anyway, guys, what are you guys up to, man? What are you guys seen or heard or experienced? Or what do you guys got to say to these audience that we have here on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram? What other platforms are we out there, Vince? iHeartRadio.
What do they have to say? What do you
Pandora,
got to say, Leo?
Let's
see what we got here.
What do I got to say?
I want to make sure we're
I just gotta say,
up and going.
Like,
Where are you on, Vince?
Like,
Facebook?
Yeah.
like all I gotta say is, like I don't think machismo. You
Who?
know what I mean? Like machismo, like men that think they're like badasses. Like I don't think like that shit should like come to a stop. Like okay, you could be a badass, but like to a certain point. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, I agree.
like men have feelings too, is what I'm saying. Like, and it's okay to have feelings like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't hide it. Don't pretend like you don't, because we can clearly see it. By you being that wannabe like tough guy and this and that. Like, sit your ass down. Like, don't let somebody hurt your feelings. Or what's the thing that we normally say? Or what is it?
It's better to be pissed off than pissed on.
Yeah, like, come on, man. Like, shit.
Unless you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess. But anyways, like, I don't know. I was just saying because, like men do go through some shit. Like, believe it or not, like, I was reading a post seeing something the other day that's saying that some men, just because they, it was comparing, I think, women being pregnant and, having their emotions after their like pregnancy and stuff like that. And then I read something else that was saying that men also go through, that kind of same stage, but like in a different way. Like we got to think about, okay, now we got another mouth I got to feed. Now I got to make sure I got more responsibilities and there's more on my plate, and like it's just, I don't know, it's a lot. Like sometimes people don't think, but us men, we also go through some shit, like,
Yeah,
I don't know, I guess just through experience, like you got like a lot going through your mind, a lot going through your head and stuff like that. Like you're like, shit, now I got to do this and now I got to do that, so I got to make sure my family's taken care of.
Maintain a sense of security, so
Right,
that,
absolutely.
because that's just in the role of masculinity. But
Right. But just
we
because,
lose it
but
too.
what I'm saying,
men lose it too.
Yeah, what I'm saying is just that, like, don't be that tough guy and don't say you don't have these feelings or you don't or whatever, like, because you do, and we can see it by you being that machismo, being that tough guy. That, like, come on, bro, it's okay to talk, like it's okay for you to talk to me, or it's okay to go talk to whoever you want to talk to, like. It's just, it's sad because you can see in a lot, I see it a lot more like in youth, like younger kids and stuff like that, like I don't know what it is, like, like it's just the school for them and stuff like that, like all these new technology for them that they try to keep up with other teenagers or just whatever, like it's just hard to see it, like, we were just in orientation because school here in Indian River County here in Florida, and you could see it in kids, like even smaller kids, they like tense up and they're like, like that stress on them all over again, a new school year, new teachers, new everything, like it's hard for kids as well, and also as parents, it's also hard for us parents, because the first thing that I was doing, this is just me, like my reaction. I went to orientation yesterday for my daughter. She's going into kindergarten. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for exit doors, and where's the windows facing to, and how can I get to the school if
And
I need
it's
to get to.
messed up that you have to think that too, you know?
Right.
You know, and that's
Yeah.
messed up. Like my son says, that's messed up. I have to think about these things, but nowadays, that's how you have to think, and it's sad
You're looking
because
for
that's what
the-
society made us think.
Looking for the quickest way to get to that classroom.
Right. So
you have to.
Right. So I get into the classroom and I'm making sure I know where my left and my right is at from the door that I came in through. And as soon as I went to that classroom, I went and see where were the windows facing to. Where am I looking at when I'm looking at these windows? You know, for whatever reason. You know, that's just me. And there again, it's another mental thing. Us as parents have to deal with that shit. You know, like it's like, fuck, it better not happen here because, you know, you'd go crazy. That's another thing you got to think about. You know, it's a lot of things.
Yeah,
As
there's a
men,
lot.
as parents,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
we have to think about shit like this. So yeah, even kids, you know, you don't think they go to school thinking shit. What if something like this happens in my school?
Well, hopefully they're
You know?
not worried about
Well,
that
let's
because
hope
they
not,
should
they're
be
not.
worried about other things. But
Right.
we got to keep them. That's part of it. Like, because we have to keep our worries and concerns to ourselves sometimes, not to instill fear in them.
Right.
Because you can do a lot
But then again,
of
like,
damage that way
Right.
socially. You know.
but then again, you also want to tell them about these things before they hear it from, like, their peers or somebody else or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
no, yeah, I agree.
I mean, I don't have
You
a
want them to
teenager. I
hear
don't
it
have a
from you.
teenager yet,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm just saying, you know, like it's just
Yeah, the critical things through life. You want them to learn from
Right.
you.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not up
exactly.
to somebody else to raise our
Yeah.
kids, and that's
Like, do you guys remember-
books,
right,
the books in the school?
yeah.
The perfect example.
Yeah.
Like,
like you guys remember being teenagers at school?
yeah,
You know,
I
and it
had
fucking
I had
sucked, man.
super social anxiety.
It's fucking
Yeah.
suck, and you know, and I see it nowadays in kids too, and it's like, fuck, man, what can I do to help you out so that you're not like this, you know? Because it sucks, man. Everybody goes through those like teenage years having these kids. I don't know. I was just thinking about it because it's just I have nephews and nieces, you know, going into high school and stuff like that, and it just puts me back in like high school and middle school, and it's like, fuck, man, you know, like I hated it.
Yeah,
It's like I hope they don't hate it,
Yeah.
you know. It's like wish I could do something to help them out, you know. But it's like
I
I don't
always
know, just
had
speak up,
anxiety.
man.
Like first
Yeah, I know.
days, first weeks, there was years there. I just was there to do school,
Yeah.
and that's it. I didn't belong there to be
Yeah, I
friends
know.
with anybody.
me either, man. It was
I had
just,
very few friends.
It's just
that
like
I
the
kept through
anxiety
school,
of
yeah.
it. Like I don't know. Till this day, man, I hate. Like I don't like it. You know, like I get pretty bad anxiety.
I asked my kids about it though.
Yeah,
Like
I
how
make,
they feel
I make sure to
because,
tell them.
you know,
or
well,
say,
I don't
hey,
tell
speak
them-
up. You know, like
like-
tell them, hey, I'm so and so, and this is how I feel.
My son and my daughter had orientation yesterday also.
Right.
And they're different classrooms. They're different parts of the school. New teachers. My daughter has the same two teachers because she's in the duolingual program. But
Right.
my son, but he's cool. He's calm. He's like, yeah. I asked him, I'm like, are you worried about coming back to school? He's like, no. He's like, first day maybe, till I figure out where everything is. But
Then it's good to
Yeah.
go. Yeah. Well, that's good. You know, that's as parents. I think we
Yeah.
worry more than probably
Yeah,
kids. I
yeah.
guess. You know.
school was
Well,
different.
it should be
Yeah.
that way. It should be that way. You know, our kids should have no fear going to school, man. They should have nothing to worry about.
They shouldn't, but we still want them to be prepared.
Yeah.
That's the thin line
I know.
we. There was quite a few things in the news.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, what was it?
What'd you have? I
don't
haven't
know.
really
I don't see the
paid
post
attention.
anymore.
I saw a few things about aliens.
The
What'd you
alien.
see?
Yeah, what's funny was though this guy had all kinds of information that he was told. That's what they didn't zero in on.
Secondhand information.
Everything he
listen,
said
listen.
in front of Congress was from what he was told.
Right.
This existed, or this.
I saw a meme the other day or this morning or something about. It said something about every time aliens get close to Earth, they roll up their windows.
They lock the doors.
Or they
roll
lock
up
the
windows.
doors, yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, probably. I was like, yeah. They're like, oh, we're going to this stupid place or whatever. I don't know.
Did you hear about Bud Light though?
No, I haven't
They
heard about
lost
it.
like another 41% of their, I don't know, their bottom line. They're selling off like 20 brands that the company that owns Bud Light, They're selling off like 20 of their brands. Shock Top is like one of the only ones I recognize. There might be other, you might recognize other beers,
Right.
but most of them going to a Canadian weed company.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And the brand right now is owned by, I think it's a Dutch company,
Uh-huh.
IB Bev or something like that. I don't know, but it's not American owned anymore anyway. So they've lost a lot of money since all that crap with Dylan Mulvaney,
Right.
that dude that dresses like a lady.
Oh, yeah. The one that's stealing purses.
No, that was the guy that worked for Joe Biden.
Oh. Wow.
But
so many
easy,
dudes that want to be
yeah.
girls, man. Like,
No,
I can't keep up with them.
Dylan Mulvaney is the one who's doing
You know, can't keep up with them.
documenting his whole transition as a woman, and he's had the facials. We've talked about it
Yeah.
hundreds of times. It's too much, but Bud Light's lost a lot of money. The brand has lost a lot of money, so they're selling off some of their lower brands, probably to try to make up for it. The other thing I learned on the way here was some information about Best Buy. We've all worked in retail, and I'd say there's pretty good opportunity for career movement, right? Within the retail industry.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Well, Best Buy teamed with another company to do a management training program, which would sound good because, you know, Best Buy could probably use some better managers, but there's only one catch. You won't qualify if you're white.
Oh.
Whites are not qualified for the management program they're offering.
It's just flat out written that way.
Literally, yeah. Yeah, and it's ridiculous. I had to look for other sources on it, and I've seen a couple videos now on it.
Right.
And it's pretty disgraceful. Like, how bad is it to where the reverse, like I don't know. They're not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just seems pretty awkward that the same group that's asking for diversity says, you know, in the name of diversity,
Right.
don't apply if you're white.
I don't know, man. It's just we shouldn't just not vote this coming election.
Just don't vote.
Yeah, just don't vote. Everybody just don't vote. Just do not go vote.
Well, if you can get that's not really the right thing to do.
No, everybody.
Mike, our votes
No.
don't even matter
Put that,
anyways.
if
You know,
you could get
Mike,
that many people
Mike,
to
think
not
about
vote, put that energy to
Mike-
getting people to vote for the right guy.
Mike,
Right.
think about it. Our
Everybody-
votes don't
Even
even.
if you get 2/3 of those people,
Our votes don't even matter, Mike. If you think about it, man.
they do, but
They don't, man.
They're
Look-
not going to.
Look,
if
we had
keep,
grandmas and grandpas that had passed away.
Well,
voting.
that's
Come on.
look
man.
at the voter
You-
turnout.
You're gonna
though.
tell me our vote?
Voter turnout was good, but they're not the right people voting. They're not the right
Oh.
turnout. So the Republicans and the conservatives have to do. They
Well,
have to
I-
play ball on the same field as the opposing side and start
I mean,
harvesting ballots.
I
And
get
that's
what
what they're
Leo's
doing.
what Leo's saying.
Yeah.
It's like, you know the cheating's going on. It's not going to stop.
It's not gonna stop.
Like, I wouldn't go as far as say your vote don't count at all.
It's just
But-
not
No,
It-
even if it's stolen
the de-
from us, though, you
the
got to
system
make it
is-
obvious.
The system is broke.
You got to make it obvious, though. You can't just exit the system. You got to make it obvious that there's wrongdoing, and the only way to do that is show that something was rigged and something was changed.
Yeah.
Law, whether it's legally or not. You know, I'm not saying anything about any elections were falsified or whatever, but in this country, you have a right to question an election results and integrity in an election, and that's we see right now. That's actually what they're charging. They're going after Donald Trump for questioning the election.
Right. You have
No,
the right.
I mean
you
he's a
have the right,
loudmouth. He
but
said some
they're-
stupid shit,
they're
but
still going to drag him through all the muck they can, just because he's
definitely,
challenging it.
Definitely, yeah. And they've got people who were his friends who are not now that are willing to testify. And they're probably going to bring more charges on Trump, who wasn't even part of my lineup to talk about tonight. But yeah, it's sad to see the world we live in. I made a post something about third world politics and first world America. You know, it's where we're locking up our political opponents, or there's people getting beat. You know, in their Rand Paul, whatever his name was, he was beat in his front yard one day, a year or two ago. You know, it's horrible where this country's gone, and now you got 81-year-old Biden going after 80-year-old Trump. You wanting to lock him up. Literally,
There's no
arming the
line
Justice
anymore.
Department.
There's no ground. I mean, it's just a free for all.
it's third world politics. Lock up your opponent. That's something, every empire in decline has gone through that. And I heard somebody say it on a YouTube video earlier this week about because they base every empire, their fall and decline, like 300 years or whatever they call it. And at one point where they start to eat each other from within is at it's like the conquest period, but conquesting our own people. And I think that's where we're at. The empire's in decline because
Right.
the conquest of our own people is not working. But, I mean, we see that people speaking out, people getting censored all the time. God forbid you speak out. And in Twitter, it came out today that they subpoenaed his information from Twitter, Trump's information from Twitter, and also, I guess, gagged anybody involved with it at Twitter, that they couldn't let anybody know that they were subpoenaed to hand over this information. They were actually fined, I think, $700,000 because they stalled and waited for other courts to make decisions, but it never worked out. You all right over there, Leo?
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You have anything to add?
No, I'm pretty good right now.
Okay. Yeah. So I came across an interesting short that sent me down a rabbit hole.
What'd you see?
It was about this book
Uh-huh.
in 1963, Vince,
Yes.
called The Adam and Eve Story.
Uh-huh.
By what was his name?
I don't know. So
We talked a little bit about Adam and Eve last time. How I
Um,
told you about the Apple on the computers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How I believe,
Yeah. So, so the whole thing, this guy was a scientist, I think with Northrop Grumman or something like that,
Right.
or
Chan Thomas. was
Chan
his name.
Thomas, yeah, but he was some scientist and worked for some contractor, I don't know. But he was also a researcher and stuff like that. So he compiled this book called The Adam and Eve Story, and in it, he went into detail about how our poles shift. And they shift every
Our poles, what do you mean by like our
the
poles?
north and
North
south
and south
pole.
pole.
So you know how they say everything was opposite at one point?
Right.
Well, this goes into that theory, but the theory is that it happens a lot sooner than what we know, and that it's happened a lot more times, and that there was multiple advanced
Hey, Mike,
species
listen.
before us. Yeah.
That's not a Bud Light.
No, it's not. Something else that's pretty queer. It's high noon, but it's good. It's not a paid
Yeah, we're not
advertisement.
sponsors by anybody.
They were
No.
good though.
To
So-
let 'em know.
But this book, it was interesting because what made this book interesting was the CIA classified it. And when they declassified it, it was missing key pages. They say that first of all, why would they classify this book that detailed how all of humanity is wiped out and we start over every so many years in the Stone Age, and that there was other humans before us or advanced species before us that have survived, and it goes into detail like worse than any movie you would see about the end of days, like 1,000-foot tidal waves and stuff like that. Because what I found interesting was, and I watched other videos and other theories on the same thing, is that when this happens,
Right.
first of all, our poles shift a little bit every year, and I think it's like 35 miles. I
Yeah.
got it here somewhere like that.
The movie I think of when you talk about that was I think it's called The Perfect Storm, where it's like
Yeah.
the whole northern part of the hemisphere, up in New York, everything it's like icing over
Yeah.
and freezing over.
Well, apparently, this happened a lot more than we know, and that's how.
I believe it.
And they say this is how we have different gods, like the Sumerian gods, the Zeus, the different, and now Jesus. Jesus would find his line in with those gods too, as in it would be artifacts and relics.
And this is
just,
a book, you said?
like everything gets wiped out. Yes,
this-
but
is
it's
this in the
other.
book?
It goes into theory that's already out
Did you
there.
read it?
No, I didn't just found out about it, but when you Google it, it takes you straight to the declassified portion of the book on the CIA website. Immediately, you go to CIA.gov.
It's a fucking book, Leo.
But it's only. Here's the thing. Some people said it was like 200 pages, and that the CIA only declassified 75. But some people debunked it by saying the missing pages. There wasn't that many pages, but the missing pages that like
Okay, so-
8 and
so-
15, they're like
so.
backsides of title pages.
So what?
So they classified the book.
So who wrote this book and what's in this book?
We already covered all that. Go back and watch the
Oh,
video.
okay. I forgot what his
So
name
they
was.
Chan
something.
Thomas.
No. Yes, Chan
Thomas.
Thomas. That's right. Okay, so
When
then,
they declassified it,
so they take
it
this book
says
away
right
from
on
me?
it, sanitized version. I don't know if they did that.
Or he
I don't know.
he wrote this book.
I don't know.
He
Some
wrote
people
the book,
debunk
but
it as
they wouldn't let it. They wouldn't let it be published
Why not?
until like
Oh,
they
yeah,
edited
right.
it out like 75
Oh, okay, I see what
pages.
yeah, and it was like 30 years later or something like
That
that.
the actual full thing.
Yeah.
So anybody that writes a book or whatever has to go through.
No, he was a scientist who already worked for a military contractor, I believe, Northrop Grumman or one of those rocket producers or some shit like that, or warplanes, something like that. So some people say, well, when he left the industry, they probably
White-
classified everything of his till they can comb through it. But why would they redact some things in this book?
Because obviously there was something they didn't want you to see.
Well, obviously, yeah. But why? Like it, some people say, well, it's not much. But so the scary part is it goes into detail of how it happens, and there's other people who have theorized the same thing, that when this does happen, it's not over a couple hundred years. It's almost immediate. And they say it's so there's almost no way of surviving because the ocean rises to 1,000 feet tall wave.
Like, don't tell me this, man.
and-
I'm already scared of fucking water.
Where the water
You're gonna tell
doesn't
me
get you.
water's gonna
But listen to
fucking
this.
raise
This is
fucking
what I thought was
1,000
crazy.
feet up in the-
The winds go to 1,000 miles per hour, and because the Earth stops, but the wind in the atmosphere doesn't, and we're already moving through space at thousands of miles an hour. So when this all happens, it's like a jerk in the Earth. It's like, and you
like a
stop,
complete stop and everything.
and
just
everything is. It's like in a car.
Everything
You're
just
going
comes
100
to
mile an hour, and
stop.
What was the artist that did a song, or he did music, but what he said was when the Earth is done with us, it's going to shake us off like a dog shakes off fleas.
pretty
I
much.
can't remember who it was that said that.
And it goes into how there is hope, though. There is hope because they say this is what happened to civilizations like Atlantis and other lost civilizations that we know about, that they're just continents that are gone. And they say when parts of the earth move and they're drawing a correlation from one side of the earth to the other, let's say some earth sinks over here, earth rises over here, like mountain range or whatever. So they say this is how there was a giant continent in between us and Africa called Atlantia, and another continent around there by India and China, and another, in between South America and Antarctica. But it goes into quite a bit of crazy things. And I went down a rabbit hole, and there's this anomaly in Africa called the Rikshack, I think, also called the Eye of the Sahara. Check it out. It's pretty badass, and it's from like satellite view or aerial view. It looks like a bunch of rings, like Plato described the city of Atlantis to be, but thousands of years old, and it's got rocks there that's not from that area.
You know what rabbit hole I've been.
I find it fascinating though that
Quite some
Africa
time.
was covered in greenery at one point. No desert.
And now for it to be nothing but
Yep.
desert.
Maps of not to cut you off, but maps of explorers like hundreds of years ago, and it showed rivers, lakes, multiple cities.
I
though.
wonder
multiple
I wonder if that's
cities.
when it shifted and it came to a stop and it just.
Well, so they say some of that wasn't that long ago though, but multiple
Really?
cities like throughout Africa
Right.
around these lakes and rivers that just don't exist anymore. Could be ancient civilization. Well, how did? And that's what they
Maybe
said.
there was no
the
wa- or
people
maybe the
who
water
made these
just
maps.
or maybe the water just kind of
Yeah.
just started drifting away somewhere.
But the people who made these maps, these ancient historians,
Right.
ancient to us, got most of their knowledge from other ancient maps. So they could be knowledge that had been recovered from
Yeah, but
lost
still, man,
civilizations. You never know.
It's just amazing, you know, like just to sit back and think and be like, man, I live in this world.
Can you think that we go through this reset every some odd thousand years?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, wasn't I telling you the other day? I was like, yeah, that next year is gonna be a real bad season, hurricane season for us because it's a leap year. Or was it this year?
Yeah.
This year or next year?
I think
I don't know.
It's a leap
next year.
Next year is a leap
Because
year.
election year is leap year.
Leap year is just gonna fucking hit us hard. Because we haven't had one in quite some time.
Google says the last time the pole shifted was 780,000 years ago. And it's supposed to go every, I think they said like
How do they know-
600,000 years, so we're overdue.
How do they know this stuff though?
Geological. I watched another video on that. Lava pools. The way lava pools,
Fucking
though,
Mike got into this shit. I like
the
this
way
shit though.
lava pools cure,
Right.
there's a magnetic field and there's something they can date it. They can tell different
You know what?
crazy shit.
You know what I've always wanted to go to is to Yellowstone to see those like steam,
the geysers.
The geysers?
Yeah, those
Oh.
are pretty cool. Yeah,
like
I never seen them.
that is so amazing. Man.
Never
Like this
been
is
there.
coming from the earth. Like where is it coming from? Who created this? Who
Makes
made
you
this?
wonder. It makes you scary.
Like,
Like some of
What's
these
underneath
theories.
this stuff? What if
well,
this thing
there's
all of a sudden
theories
just opens
that it's
up
not
while I'm
solid.
Yeah, the and Earth's theories.
Wow, there's the there's
Also.
the Admiral Byrd theory
Right.
that there's another civilization in the Earth, but there's the theory that our core is just liquid lava, molten magma, always shifting, and it's
don't
true.
even wanna
There's
know.
the continental
I don't
shift.
want to know, Mike.
Yeah. There's a continental drift.
Don't use that as
and
a
these-
short, all right, Mike?
But keep in mind, these continents move an
Yeah.
inch a year.
Yeah, they do.
You know, you don't realize it.
You don't think an inch is pretty big, but I think an inch
No,
is an
but
inch.
then you have that earthquake that happened in Japan, and they lost,
yeah, what
I
happened
think,
with,
like 800 feet.
so what's going on with
I think
Hawaii
they lost
right
800 feet.
now? They got the
Hawaii's-
wa-
And that earthquake shifted the pole 4 times more than what it would have been natural occurrence.
Okay.
Every earthquake does that, by the way.
Go ahead with Hawaii, Vince.
Oh, I heard they got hurricane headed their way.
Well,
but
no,
it sounds like it's
and-
not gonna.
Well, so
hit
let me
them.
tell you, I was actually aware of my in-laws, and I was seeing the news, and they have a hurricane winds, but no hurricane. It was just hurricane winds that knocked down power lines, so it caused fires. So now they have wildfires in Hawaii with hurricane winds.
So it's spreading the fire.
Oh man, it's burning them up. You know, because that wind is just blowing so hard, but there's like no rain, no nothing. It's just the wind. I was like, man, that's the worst right there.
I don't like that wind anymore. I don't like hurricanes anymore. I just don't.
The older we get, the the more it's harder to do things, man. It's just there you go again. Mentally again, it's like
Worrying about everything.
Yeah. worry about
You
stuff,
convinced
you
me.
know.
Let's all move to North Georgia.
Well, if you
but
think
can
about
get
it,
hurricane
you
there,
can still
but
get hurricanes
less
up there.
likely.
Or tornadoes. Tornadoes
Yeah.
get pretty bad up there
Yeah,
too. you know?
especially in the mountains. Yeah.
Yeah, they knocked them tree down. Them trees are not, little 10, 12-foot trees. That's
Yeah. A couple times I've
that's
visited.
some big old
visited
trees
there.
up there, boy.
You'll drive through some of the roads in the mountains, and you
Oof.
can see where they've had tornadoes recently.
Yeah. It's Mother Nature, man. What do you expect? We treat Mother Nature bad. Mother Nature's going to treat us bad. Plain and simple, We knock down trees. We knock down all this stuff. That's what we breathe from is the oxygen. That's where we get it from is trees.
Yep.
And every single day you see another piece of land getting torn down.
They're going down faster than they're going
faster.
up.
And then you wonder why we're under it's so hot.
Oh God, it's been horrible, man.
It's
You know,
horrible.
all the concrete, all the asphalt. You know,
The humidity is just
there's no more. There's no
ridiculous.
breeze going by because there's no more trees. We're knocking them down. Keep building more houses, more concrete, and more stuff. I mean, we've talked about this, Mike. What did we say? Concrete was the number what?
The number 2 consumed item
The number 2
by
consumed item
humans. Yeah.
by humans.
Song
It's
by
crazy.
Leonard Skinner where he sings about watching the
Mhm.
concrete creeping.
It is ridiculous how much
It
concrete we put in this earth.
Surprised it hasn't collapsed on us. Hey, that's another rabbit hole we could go down if you guys want to. Think
Uh,
about it, Vince.
I get
How much more water and how much more pressure is this thing gonna? If they say it's hollow from the inside, if it's hollow from the inside,
Yeah, I find the part I get interested in is the ancient buildings and
Right.
stuff like that with giant stone blocks that didn't come from anywhere around there.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of those? I forget what they were called, but
You know what I've
they're used. There's some in like some old Roman buildings that the Romans had nothing to do with.
You know what I've seen? Stuff was on Netflix. You know, documentaries about how they put telescopes up there in space and stuff like that, and they can see like what they call it, like light years away or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you see all this stuff? How can you do all this stuff and think? How many light years away is it?
It's hard. It's hard to believe that they
How
can.
long is 1 light year away?
Well, that's something I'll have to look up, Leo.
How long is a light year?
Yeah,
I think it's a made up like statistic though, isn't it?
I don't know. Google
Came
it.
from
no,
Star Trek.
it's
No, look
there's
it
a
up.
literal.
Yeah, I think
It's a
there is.
literal distance.
Yeah,
But I
but it's like, how do you know how far that is? You know,
yeah.
it's just crazy. And then again, if you think about it, okay, we do all this stuff out there in space, but yeah, we can't go back to the moon. Take me back to the moon. Show me new pictures of the moon. Give me a new
Okay, so
footprint down there.
this is very surprising if this is accurate.
Okay, it's
One
like
light
14
year?
years.
1 light year
think so,
in,
yeah.
in miles is 10.12 miles. Is that what that's saying? That can't be right.
1 light year equals. What the phone though?
5.879 by 10.12 miles. Whatever the hell that means.
That can't be right.
That's what Google says.
What does that mean, though?
If you're watching at home and you or listening and you know
Let me see,
what
turn it
a
on,
light
Vince.
year is, help us out here.
Well, I looked it up in miles. Is it maybe it's in time?
Probably, yeah. It's got to be in time, Vince. How far is 1 light year away?
What is a light year?
What is a light year?
So a light year is the distance light travels in 1 Earth year. 1 light year is about 6 trillion miles.
there you go.
6 trillion miles.
Yes.
That's a long way.
That's a long way.
I mean, there's truck drivers that have done that.
Yeah, right. No, I don't think so. That's a long. That's a long way.
So
Yeah.
how do they know? How do they measure?
It's
what
hard
that
to
is?
it's hard to believe that they can see that far. But
Oh yeah.
Well, if there's
I
nothing
mean,
in the way,
yeah, I mean, it's
that's
just it's
that's the whole.
it's like your brain
And-
can't like
right,
think that
but they
that's
see
even
stars
really possible.
and they see all these like awesome pictures that they get. Well, they say they get. We don't know. I don't know. I've never seen the pictures. I just seen the movie. Nowadays,
6 trillion miles.
Vince is still surprised. That's far, Vince. Now, imagine when they say, "Oh yeah, it was, it was 45 light years away." Ah, damn.
yeah,
45
yeah,
light years.
and we can see.
But yeah, we can't see the moon again. Give me a good shot of the moon to see if there is water in the moon. But yeah, we can see light years away. Come on, take a picture of the moon for me real quick.
And we still
I'm
have.
sure it's in the way while
What-
you're looking at.
When's the last time we put somebody on the moon?
Yeah, we'll take them down to sea and drown their asses down there. My bad, but hey,
Yeah,
NASA's
the moon thing. I just find it hard to believe that we were on the moon in the '60s
And we can't do it now.
when computers were shit, and
I
here
still-
we are. You
I
can.
I still don't believe it.
I don't believe it either. There's people that I look at as being smarter than me that'll tell me that yes, we did. I can't even remember who it was. I was having a conversation on it not that long ago.
Show
and
me
that-
again.
And that's what he was saying. He was saying, yes, it really happened. But I don't believe it. Why haven't we done it since the 60s then?
Yeah, come on. And we got better technology. I mean, come on. We got Teslas.
If we can land on the moon,
Come on,
why aren't we
guys.
landing on other planets?
Right.
Mars.
You know, we have a space station up there. Come on, take a break at the space station and then hop on the Uber to go to the moon. Get a lift.
I don't know. I mean,
come on, man.
I think if our destiny is to get thrown through a cataclysmic reset, that's our destiny. You know, they say them saying that we're well overdue. Maybe that's a good thing. You know, maybe now we got the right God. I don't know. But every ancient civilization talked about a great flood that wiped out their ancestors that they were survivors of. So, what else you guys got? That's all I got, man. I went down the hell of a rabbit hole with all that crap and the CIA not banning the book, but declassifying it and sanitizing it. What you got, Vince? You got anything?
No, nothing I
No.
can think of. Leo?
Nothing you can think of right now, Vince? Nah, you know, just stay human.
Here,
You know,
hold on. I'll share
Don't let
this
the
with you.
aliens get to you guys, you know, and I don't know, man. Just be you, be yourself. You know, I just want to wish all the students that are going back to school for the year of 2023, 2024. Just wish everybody best of luck, and you know, keep your chin up high, keep your forehead up high, and just be you, man. You know, wish them kids best of luck, and try not to get into trouble, and try not to read those nasty books they got out there, because you know it's going to be talked about in the halls about them. You know, kids are going to want to try to check them out, going to try to see what's going on. You know they are. Mike, come on, you don't think they are?
Well, especially since there's so much attention.
Well, yeah,
they should have just
absolutely.
taken them out.
Yeah, so now they're going to get more attention.
Well, I don't know
about
why
it.
there was a big halloo about
And
it.
now they're going to get more attention
Yeah.
about it. They should have just looked at the book, said, okay, yeah, there is, let's take it out. But no, they left it there. Now there's more and more
Yeah.
and more and more and more. You're adding more to the pot.
Because what would you have done if you were a kid and you heard
Come on,
about
man.
it? You're
Exactly.
gonna go look for those
I'm gonna go
books.
look it out for the books. Yeah, absolutely.
That's just what a kid's.
Yeah, that's what I'm
lot of
saying. You know,
them
I
are
just
gonna
you just gotta wish them best of luck, and hey, stay out of trouble. Don't listen to what other people say. Be you. You know, be true to yourself, and tell your friends how you feel. And hey, if you don't want to do something, hey, let them know. Hey, I don't want to do it. Let them call you whatever they want to call you. At the end of the day, you know what's right and you know what's wrong, and you know, just know that your parents are not always going to be there for whatever choices you make. So you got to make sure you do the right choice.
I thought he said pants first. Your pants aren't always gonna be there.
No, your parents aren't always going to be there whenever
I was like,
these
what?
things are happening. So just make sure you
Mhm.
do the right choice. You know, I'm just saying. You know, it's just
Think it through. Don't
Yeah.
act in the moment.
yeah. Don't act in the moment. I know it's hard. I've been there. You know, you speak up and then you think about it and you're like, shit, I shouldn't have said that. You know, but just be you, and just want to wish all the students out there good luck. You know, and the parents too. Mike,
The ones I feel for are the kids that actually
yeah,
need the school to be the one to raise them because their parents aren't there for them.
yeah,
That's sad
That's-
that they
that's-
expect that to happen.
That's the sad side of it.
I agree. And it happens. It happens a lot. You know.
Where they want the school to. Yeah, like
Well, it's
I-
like some
you know,
kids actually benefit from it because their parents aren't raising them. But
Yeah, but we need
but
to get those
the ma-
parents right.
exactly,
You
it's
know.
not the school's job to raise the
Yeah,
kids.
home
It's their job
economics
to
was
educate
great.
'em.
Home economics was great and all, but like that's really not the place of the school. Mental health really isn't the place of the school either. I'm sure
No.
some people close to some of us might argue with me, but I mean, it's good that it's available if
Yeah.
needed, but it shouldn't be part of the process for kids to go through school.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't be forced. It should
Yeah,
be there if
right.
they need it.
Yeah.
I remember going to school having to do the freaking scoliosis test. I don't even know if they do that anymore. but
yeah,
can you
I
remember
remember
that?
that. I remember that.
I remember that.
anxiety.
Oh
Yeah.
man, and I
Line
was a
up in
chunky
the
kid
gymnasium.
back then too, man.
Yeah.
And me taking my shirt off in front of
Yeah,
you know,
you
I felt
talk
some
about
type of way,
anxiety at
man.
school. Yeah.
I felt some type of way,
You
man.
know, I was always a chunky
I know,
kid,
but you
still
feel
am.
some type of way though, don't you? Like you take your shirt in front of all these kids, and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
You know I can't
Yeah,
run
it's
in the
just, like,
fucking soccer
weird.
field. You're making me take my shirt off then? But do
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying though? Like,
Yeah.
like now I can speak up. Now I don't care what they say. You know,
Right,
I'm an
right.
adult now. But these teenagers though, man, like they got to go through this shit, man. Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yep.
you know, like I understand whenever they get these feelings and they're like, "Fuck, man, I don't want to go to school because my friend's this or my friend's that." I understand that, man. I've been through there, man. Like I've thought about this shit. You know, we've all thought about it. We've all had our teenage years where it's like, "Fuck, man." Why
See,
me? Why that? Why this? Why
See,
that?
I didn't have
You know?
like a real hard time in high school, like, but we all had like when I went to school, I just remember different cliques. So you hung out with a group, you had your group
Yeah.
that you hung out with, and when I was in school, for the most part, everybody had their groups, and the groups didn't even really fuck with each other. Just
I didn't see that until I moved to Florida.
yeah.
I'm not
but-
saying it didn't exist up there, but it was a culture shock
right.
when I came
you
here.
told me about that once.
Yeah, I
It
remember
was
him
like
telling
I had
something
to.
about-
It was like, you know, the stories you hear about when you go to jail. You got to pick which
Right.
group you're
Man,
gonna.
you-
and
you
that's
going
kind of how it was for me in junior high in Florida. It was like, okay, which group do I got to get with? You
Skinheads,
know,
the jocks, the
yeah, and I kind of went through them all. I was
Craps.
like, you know,
Yeah.
but
I
ironically
talked
enough,
to everybody. I
it
didn't
was
care
the
who it was.
Hispanic
man.
group that actually was the
They-
first group to
They
like.
took you in, Mike.
Kind of, yeah. Well, I made a few friends.
Hola, Mike. ¿Cómo
It's not. I'm not saying like as a group, but like I made a few friends
Yeah, hey, what's up,
easily
man?
in that area, and then well, then I ended up. I had friends. I mean, not friends, but I mean, I did what I had to
Right.
get through the day and stay safe.
right.
You know, that's what I
Yeah.
meant by friends. I didn't keep friends through school though. It just
Right.
my friends were always outside of where I went to school, which is weird. I mean, I had a few.
When I was
There's
in
still
school,
a few guys I'm cool with.
when
After
I was
going
in
to
school, I
college
had a
with,
small
but-
group that I stuck around with for a little bit past, but you know everybody moves away and
Yeah.
shit. So
Yeah, and then that as you get older, that's the one good thing about Facebook. It's a good and a bad. You kind of
can
still in touch.
see how they're doing.
Yeah, but then again, it's still like it's another anxiety. Like it's reminiscent and
Well, and it's
You
like
should- you don't
what
need
Leo
to.
was talking about, I think, on the last episode. You know how people are fake on social media. So you see these people on social media you haven't seen in 20 years, and you say, "Oh, look, they're doing good," but you know who knows
how good. They
how
might
they-
not be doing.
Right,
Yeah.
that might just all be for show.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Like it
Like
just.
you never really know.
Yeah, don't let social media fool you, man. Like I could be saying, hey, smile every day, be happy, be this, but yet, I don't know what the fuck I'm going through. You know,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
just doing it just to release whatever I gotta release. You know,
Maybe
nobody knows what the fuck I'm
trying
going
to
through.
will it. Manifest it because
Right.
you might need it most. You know.
Exactly.
Everybody's got their own demons,
You know?
and people just deal with it in different ways.
Yeah, people just deal with it in different ways. You know, just because I'm saying I feel happy or I'm happy or I'm this or that doesn't mean I am. You know, but I'm trying to get there. That's what I'm saying, so that I can keep going back and looking at it and be like, okay. You know, I don't know. Just everybody just takes it in different. You know, everybody's different, and it's okay to be different. You know, that's all right. Hey, if that's how you feel, okay, whatever. Fuck it, do your thing. Once you're done, come back. You know.
Hell, nowadays it's almost normal to be different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
well,
I got into the conversation.
But see there again.
Yeah.
There again. It's sad because the word "different" now is kind of
It's got to be radical.
right.
If you're not radical at whatever you're
Then
different
you're not,
at,
You're not different.
you're
if
not doing it
radical,
right.
no.
Right.
Right.
you can't just be gay anymore. You got to be trans, or you can't just
Yeah,
be
you
gay.
just
You
can't
got to be a
gay.
drag queen.
Yeah.
Or,
The
you
word
know,
"gay" it doesn't even exist anymore. You got to be like.
just as an example. I mean, other things too. You can't, if you're not a Republican, you got to be an extreme Democrat, or vice
Right.
versa. If you're not, pro-American, you got to be anti. It's just like we've gone into that.
It's
yeah.
like the
Yeah.
middle road people don't exist anymore. Like if referring to politics, you're either extreme left or extreme right. It's like they don't. It's like they don't even believe the middle ground exists anymore.
No, and it's pretty sad because we lose out on a lot of opportunity. There's good, I believe there's good intentions on both sides, but most of the players are just get lost in the greed.
Right. It's part of the system.
People of power. Not that there aren't good people that hold power, but I think most of the people in Washington, they pretty much suck on
They're-
both sides.
Oh yeah.
Most
both
of them.
sides.
Most of them are
I can probably name 3 or 4 conservatives that I like that I'd probably be called a radical for, but they're actually ones that are trying to change things
Right.
in the right way.
I mean, most of your politicians were probably D students in college that went to college as long as they possibly could because they were partying.
Yeah, but they
And
didn't
then-
take the D home.
And then
They paid for that.
politics
They
kicked
paid,
in.
yeah.
Politics kicked in, and
Yeah.
and then they move into politics and they just buy into the game. They
Yeah.
whatever they're paid to do, whatever they're paid to support.
Yeah, so deep state. That's my only. Honestly, for me to support Trump, that's the only reason why I support Trump. People say, "Oh, he's going to be out for revenge." That makes me want to support him even more. If on nothing else, he's going to go in there and he's going to fire some of these bad people. He
Right.
should have did it the first time. He should have did it the first time he screwed up.
Yeah.
I think he tried to play ball on the field, but I think he just needs to go in there and fire people. Maybe dissolve whole
Right.
agencies that just are unconstitutional, that
like-
make their own laws, and
like-
it's just like
Like the ATF.
ATF.
should
You know,
just be gone.
yeah, there's a lot of them that we don't need freaking 17 intelligence agencies. It's a waste pot. But in 9 out of almost all of them work for the president.
Yeah. I agree with you there. I
The
think the
executive
smartest thing he did was getting all the Supreme Court judges in place that he got in place, but some of that's backfiring also. Again, money.
It's not
but-
popular to support Trump, even if he was
Right.
put you where he was. We see that with DeSantis, who's
But,
now gone through his campaign man. I think he just fired his campaign manager, but he should fire a whole lot more, like that freaking press secretary he's got, Christina Pouchard or something like that. She's horrible, man. If you speak out against DeSantis or anything like that, I've seen them go after independent journalists and just cut through. You could be a supporter of them, but you didn't support maybe an ad like the
Yeah.
one with the Hitler-esque type
Would you-
freaking propaganda in it, and she just they go for the throat.
Talking about Ron DeSantis, did you see one of the things? This may have been a week or two ago now, but he got a lot of flack for he was at a little meeting or a little get together after a conference, and he was standing there drinking a beer doing an interview. He received all kinds of flack for that. It was
Flack, I'm surprised.
just a bad look, for him to be. They're giving him all kinds of shit for it.
Let me see if I can
Yeah,
find
you gotta
this.
understand that's what you signed up for.
What, he was just chilling with a beer?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
chilling
just-
with the beer.
I think
Whatever, that makes
if I
him
remember
more
correctly,
human
I-
at least.
know.
I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. It's like, okay, so I
I know,
would
so
stand there
you
drinking-
shouldn't worry about it. Be like, fuck it.
And no, he wasn't drinking a Bud Light. I think it was a Coors Light, if I remember correctly. I did see the video.
I wonder if I can get I wonder if this will play the video. We got to wrap it up here soon, but
I don't know. The only thing I got to leave these people with is we have not talked about how gas prices are up to $4.
$4.
100.
So we'll leave it right there for next episode
I
because
didn't-
you guys are gonna see what
I
that's gonna happen.
can't stop there. I just paid what was a week ago.
Nobody's
It's going
talking
up a little
about
bit more.
how gas is so expensive.
$105 to fill my tank. I was
Nobody
like, what?
is talking
Oh,
about gas prices
gone.
as of right.
It's
now.
skyrocketed again. It's freaking crazy.
Everybody's quiet. What are they quieting us with? That they're not speaking about the gas prices.
Distractions.
Right now. Have you noticed they're not speaking about gas right now? Why not? What's going on?
Well, they got you worried about aliens.
Well,
Ah.
you will hear
They
about
got
it
you
if
worried about
but-
Trump.
If you go to Newsmax,
They
you'll hear
forgot
about the
about
gas,
the gas.
prices. But
That's
none of the
good,
major
'cause
Vince,
networks.
the other
I don't
day,
go to
the other
Newsmax.
day,
None of the major
Vince, the other
networks are
day,
talking
within
about it.
24 hours, gas jumped up 20 cents. Within 24 hours.
But
gas
Fox,
jumped-
CNN, ABC, they ain't
no
talking
one
about
is
it.
talking about gas prices. We're staying quiet. That's one thing. If I would vote for Trump, is bring gas prices back down. Let's run this place like a business.
That's
Plain
it. And they
simple.
say, "Oh, well, he has nothing to do with that." Bullshit, man. All the pipeline Biden canceled, the
Right.
the permits they didn't
Trump had
issue.
it below $2.
Yes, and
Let's
we
run
could
this
be
place like a
there
business.
again.
It was below $2. I remember.
Now look, half the
190s.
country, half the world who used our dollar to trade oil are now making their own dollar backed by gold to trade their oil without us, and we're gonna get on. I think what's worse than worried about the Adam and Eve story is us losing our standing in the world and the king of trade, you know, the dollar. They call it the petrodollar
Yeah.
because our dollar's used for trade around the world.
Oh yeah.
When they use a different dollar that's not ours, we're screwed. Our economy is going to collapse.
Oh yeah, it is.
Sorry,
It is.
Vince, cut you off, but the gas is the big deal. The
gas
way
is
they
a
trade
big-
oil.
Yeah, it is
Yeah.
a big deal.
The president has a lot to do with it. Pipelines, oil permits. But
No, I
So
agree.
it's August
line-
9th.
Yeah.
and gas was how much today?
I don't
Did you
know.
get gas today?
No, I didn't get gas.
No,
today.
it's almost
Well,
$4.
Yeah, I was gonna say a week ago when we did
I
our
can
last
check some of
podcast,
that.
it was $3.89 at the gas station down the road from here.
Yep.
I have an app.
And
If
that's
y'all- if
that's
y'all-
that's
if you guys, hey, listen, I have
man,
an
that's
app.
regular.
I have
that's
an
not
app. If you
premium.
guys
Yeah, hit Leo up in the DM for
Yeah.
a code.
hit me up in the DM for the
Yeah.
code, I got an app. I have $140 that they given me back for pumping gas.
Yeah, you too can earn that much.
You
money.
too can earn that. So hit me up if you want a code, and I could send you some great
Yeah.
places to go get gas at, man.
This is not an advertisement.
It's not an advertisement. I'll tell you that for sure. So
They
right
ain't
here at the
paying.
mobile, down the street, you know, what is it, Shark Mark or whatever? $3.70.
No, it's not as bad as I thought.
Still $3.70.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Still
you, the
too
one down
much.
here charged me $3.89.
Yeah, well, you're right at the intersection. Man.
Shit,
Yeah.
man.
So and if you
Anyways.
pump with this, if you hold on, if you hit me up in a DM, and if you pump gas, you'll get
Like,
it
hold
for
on.
$3.55. So it means you're saving 15 cents per gallon.
Yeah,
That's quite a bit of
hit
money,
up
man.
Leo for
15
the
cents
link.
per gallon. That shit adds up, man. I have $140.
Have you ever cashed out?
I have not cashed out.
I got the same app and I've cashed out a couple times,
Have
and
you?
I was over that
Yeah.
each time.
Yeah,
It's
man,
like,
I've been
wow,
pumping
I've
gas,
spent too
man.
much money on gas.
On gas, you do, yeah, you do spend it.
But anyways, we'll
guys.
catch you next week, hopefully, as long
Definitely,
as real
Okay.
life doesn't get in the way and the poles
Absolutely.
don't shift.
yeah, definitely. We don't get eaten by aliens.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, we're out. See you guys next week.
Later. I could do a Joe Madden.
Oh, we gotta leave with Vince. Come in with Vince and leave with Vince.
He just got fucked up.